Your parcel could not be delivered due to incomplete address details. Please verify your information. Proceed with the following link. I'm sure some of y'all would have got this type of a message from delivery packages, checking address, update information. It's not a unknown thing, it has become a common thing. When cyber space is growing in an era of digital, AI is playing a key role, things of this nature can come in. And that's where I think the discussion on cybersecurity and governance come into play. And there's much more beyond that. So to today discuss about this topic, especially on the backdrop of some of our discussions with our group chief technical officer about AI and how it helps the industries, we also tend to forget the security and the governance side. To discuss about this, I have a very special gentleman with me with years of experience in cybersecurity, digital trust, and governance risk. He was also the former head of cybersecurity governance and compliance at Dialog Asiata PLC and head network infrastructure security and compliance at Explolanka Holdings as well. Now he's the chief information and security officer of Janashakti Group. Mr. Sithira Wanniarachchi joins us at JXG Spotlight. Sithira, welcome to JXG Spotlight, and the spotlight is on you.
Thank you very much, Gamika, for having me.
Thank you, Sithira. I think it's a very personally, it's a very important discussion for me, and think especially on the backdrop of some of the discussions we have had recently, and you have brought in a lot of knowledge and opened our mind space in terms of this topic. And I'm coming from a marketing background. I know how digital era plays in the marketing front. We have been hearing, I just read the message I got. We have been hearing about banks getting into trouble. We hear about government getting into troubles. We are hearing about hackers coming in. And also, Sitra, I think we have seen enough movies where the automation and the machines taking over the human factors and dominating us. So interesting backdrop. I'm just painting the picture to you. My first question to you, Sithira, with your experience, I want all the insights from you across industries and from a society point of view. How has AI changed the nature of cybercrimes? We hear a lot of stuff. I'd like to hear your point of view.
Of course, Gamika, looking at AI, when you say AI, it's like a fancy word, right?
Yeah.
So everything that we talk about, AI has to be
Absolutely.
there, part of that. So what do you mean AI, actually?
Artificial intelligence?
Artificial intelligence. That means we are thinking same way as a human. A machine also can think the same way. That's what the basic concept is.
Right.
So example, few years ago, we didn't have that concept. We have had something called machine learning.
Right.
Machine, we give something to the machine and say, okay, this A, B, C, D you have to do.
Okay.
The machine can do that. So now we have evolved. So now we are looking at, okay, they can do the thinking like the same as we do. So imagine, it's not a machine.
Yeah.
It's a human.
It's a human.
Can you predict a human?
That's tough. That's really tough.
So with that, anyway, example, if you take a human being, we know their nature, we know how the people will behave, maybe the character and all that. We know, okay, this particular individual will behave in this particular pattern based on the previous data we have.
Yeah.
But as a human, we have limited knowledge and limited access to that knowledge. But when it comes to the machine, it's completely game changer because it's connected to the internet.
Absolutely.
It has any domain knowledge.
Infinite potential of, yeah.
Exactly. It can be a marketing.
Yeah.
It can be a sales. It can be HR. It can be IT. It can be finance.
Yeah.
So they can become expert in that domain, any topic they want. So the danger is, as human, we have good and bad.
Yeah. Same goes to
the machine as well. So can have a good and bad. So who's going to control it? How are we going to control it? Are we capable of controlling it?
Yeah.
So that's why the AI has become very buzzword. At the same time, people are using for lots of good things.
Yeah.
At the same time, intention matters.
Yeah.
People are using for bad things as well.
Absolutely.
So that's the danger that we are facing today. It's not about the technology, I would say.
Yeah.
It's about how
the intention
of using it, what for we are using it. Maybe when it comes to the mass scale, everyone is using for the good. There can be one or two individual using for the bad.
Yeah.
But the same things are connected. Even the 1 or 2% can make a devastating effect.
So, Sithira, a very interesting point you brought in. It's an additional question that I want to probe you in. Now, You said that the machine are learning, they are becoming intelligent, but also you mentioned the fact that the intention of the human who's behind it as well. So finally, it boils down to the individuals who are controlling it, because anything can have the positives and negatives. I mean, nuclear, even internet, when maybe like 15-20 years the internet came in, a lot of people saw the bad side of internet, and we also saw from a telecom background, we said, like, these are the you're opening up a world of knowledge for the kids and all that, but as long as you have the right controls. So this human factor plays a key role, Sithira.
Human factor plays a key role. The danger part which comes with AI, with all these technologies, human were in the loop.
Right.
They had the control. Example, if they
Yeah.
did a 1, 2, 3 to do, but they had the control.
Right.
They did the governance and say, okay, these are the ways that this can operate.
Okay.
So
Okay.
in case if it's going beyond that,
So you had the
people had the kill switch.
Oh, right. Okay.
But
Now,
the change of AI is now the machine can make a decision based on the context given. They can learn the entire thing, and they can make a decision. So if they may able to do a decision making,
yeah.
it's out of your control.
Oh, yeah.
So then how are we going to place that kill switch?
Absolutely. So I think, more you talk about it, a lot of movies comes to my head, how the machines are ruling. I mean, from Terminator to all that stuff, comes to my head. So in marketing, we think always seeing is believing.
Exactly.
Now, in your current context, is in the current era, entering into a digital and a cyber era, seeing is no longer believing. I mean, you can hallucinate, you can have any depictions that you want to. What's your view on that?
Seen, that's exactly same. So people are being used for seen, and seen is believing. Hearing, if you hear something, you believe that.
Yeah.
So that's our nature of, we have been living for about many millions of years.
Yeah.
If you see something, that means, oh, I have seen this, and that I can believe. That's the trust that we have been
Over the years,
continuously
yeah.
building. Over the years, we have been building. So if you hear something, yes, because no one can make that sound. No one can sound like that.
That's unique.
That's unique.
Yeah.
So if you hear that, you tend to believe that sound.
Okay.
Or if you see a person, maybe your mother's, father's, or someone's picture, there was no way that anyone could manipulate. You tend to believe. But with AI, will that be the same case? Photos,
Yeah.
they can generate. Videos, they can fabricate. Voice,
Yeah.
they can clone. Example, this podcast we are doing physically,
Yeah.
because I can trust you because we are physically here. But the audience,
Yeah.
how do they know whether this is a fabricated AI generated or not? It's no more, we can't go on the concept of seeing is believing, hearing that you can believe. So we need another factor. So we need to have something called a verification factor.
Okay.
This is missing in our tradition because we have been used to do seeing is believing. If
Yeah.
you see, that's the gospel truth.
Absolutely.
But now we need to go into a different level and think, yes, I saw something, I heard something, I felt it.
Yeah.
But can that be true?
Yeah.
To ask that question, that has to be come from the every individual.
Absolutely. Sithira, it actually opened up my mind to a separate question, which I asked Kugan also, who joined one of our discussions. The legal framework. I don't think the current legal framework or even the IT security side of it, we are fully fledged or fully prepared to cover any legal damages. It can, I think we don't have scenarios to predict as well. How does this evolve and how does it impact?
So when it comes to the world scenarios, there are certain legal frameworks in place. But when it comes to Sri Lanka, the Asian regions, we are very maybe far behind to adapt it.
Right.
But the more time that we take, AI doesn't take that long. So the problem is we
evolving.
need to adapt things very fast. Maybe you adapt fast, we fail fast, then again you rectify and come back. So if you take another 5 years to adapt, by the time technology is
That has
completely
evolved.
completely evolved, then
Yeah.
you're far behind it.
Yeah.
So you need to know, maybe we will not get it first time.
Yeah.
Correct.
But you have to start somewhere.
But we have to start it
Yeah.
immediately. So then at least we will have the experience, we have the exposure, we know what went wrong, what went correct.
Yeah.
Then we can make corrections.
Yeah.
Even the laws, what we believe is when you go and create a law, it has to last for about 10 years.
Yeah. But
Nowadays,
no longer.
now it doesn't really correct in these scenarios.
Absolutely.
So we need to have very agile frameworks where if there's any change, we need to quickly adapt it, quickly change it. but you can't take long
Yeah.
to adapt it.
So, Sithira, I mean, do you think that with your industry expertise and you're involved in many of those discussions as well, is Sri Lanka taking the right action or we are still not?
I would say we are in the correct path,
Yeah.
but it's a
But
matter of whether we have the speed,
Yeah.
are we going to the depth? Yes, maybe we're in the correct path. It's, at this day and age, speed matters.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we need to be a bit of fast than the phase that we are going at the
Going
moment.
at the moment, yeah, very important. I think this topic can go on for an hour, but I'll try to focus on the questions that we have. One of the discussions or exposure that I had with you, you mentioned that cyber attacks are more psychological than technical. I couldn't understand what you really meant. Would you like to elaborate on that one?
So before we start the discussion, you got a message, right?
Yes.
So what's going to be your response? Because there was a parcel delivery.
And it was coincident. I have actually ordered something during that period, and I was expecting a delivery also.
So definitely there's nobody's at home to pick that parcel. So you need to respond, right? So what is your immediate action?
Instinct is to go and update, right?
Update.
Yeah.
So you had very limited time. You knew that there's a parcel coming.
Yeah.
Then you had to make action.
Yeah.
So but within that short time period, if you make a mistake, how do you know whether it's genuine? Yes, maybe you have ordered a parcel.
Yeah.
Do you know that's correct source the
Sources.
message came from?
Yeah.
No.
Oh.
So that's why you need a verification. You have to be very careful. The danger is maybe few years ago you can get a random message like that. This is very random situation. You have ordered something, you have got a message.
Yeah.
There can be a situation so many people get messages without any ordering.
Right.
But what if the individual or the attacker knew that you have ordered a parcel, knew maybe ordered from ABC company,
Yeah.
and they had done a bit of profiling about you, customized to you, and send the message with a wrong link to update the data. Is it possible or not?
Highly possible.
With the AI,
Yeah.
your profile is online, your data is online.
My
What
behavior
you-
is being tracked.
Your behavior being tracked. Example, you are so much eager to see that product. Maybe it's something that you ordered. Maybe you have put a post saying, I ordered so and so this product and I'm expecting the delivery on this particular date. But the attacker will send you a curated message to you saying, this is page will look exactly same. Maybe it can be SMS, it can be a QR link, it can be just a link for you to update the payment, or maybe just to accept.
It looks so authentic also.
And maybe saying that, because that's what you need, quick attention. They are trying to get urgency.
Yeah.
They are trying to say this is important, you need to take action now.
Yeah.
At the same time, pretend like it's very important, very limited time. If you don't update within maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, we have a bit of a greed, right? So
Yeah.
we like to, if there's opportunity, you need to grab it soon. So that's the psychological part coming. So people are not talking about now normal part. Now we are manipulating psychology, the urgency, tendency to be like. All those things attackers use.
To manipulate, yeah. Sithira, I had an experience. I don't want to name people or the organizations. In a reputed organization, a mail comes from an individual. I mean, I'll start from the reverse of the story. So basically, email comes to a particular branch manager saying to update the password. They update the password, and the hacker gets access to email and send a manipulative message saying about a particular change in a facility, and then coming and claiming, saying that, look, you all have sent me the mail, and backtrack. We managed to sort of track it down and finally found that it's a very educated person, right? Not a normal layman. So even the highest, I mean, even this manager who changed the password, it looked very authentic. I mean, you time to time you get to update your password. Sometimes these most highly educated individuals also fall for digital scams. I mean, you said it's psychological, but A, why that happens? B, how do you avoid that?
Yes, that's a good part. So people will get maybe tricked by maybe not educated individuals. So this is nothing to do with the education. Maybe you are a doctor, maybe you are an engineer, maybe you are a cybersecurity engineer. Yes, you are expert in that particular field, but as general humans, we have emotions.
Yeah.
Everyone has emotions. Maybe a sad moment, maybe a happy moment. So this is where the trick is coming. People are manipulating not your intelligence. They are manipulating your emotions.
Whoa.
So when it comes to the emotion, everyone as human beings, we have that emotions.
Absolutely.
So that's where people or the attacker get manipulated. So it's nothing to do with the
The education level,
education
or
education level,
yeah,
or the maybe it can be the president, it can be a prime minister, it can be a CEO. It's nothing to do with intelligence, but it's about emotional.
absolutely, absolutely. So I think this is like opening up a grave. I'm getting scared, but I'll go into the rest of the questions to ask you some of the mitigation activities as well. In the future, what matters more? Is it the smarter systems? I know that organizations are investing on governance, or is it smart people? I mean, we saw recently a reputed bank having an issue, a large issue, and post that, couple of weeks down the line, we get the alert in terms of a government issue as well. Now, does the systems has to be smarter, set up right system, governance framework, checkpoints, etc., or do we need to invest in smart people?
I think we need both, because we need to evolve. So we need smart system for help us our things to get it faster. At the same time, the people need to be more smarter. Why? Because we want to get things done the way that we want.
Yeah.
We don't want someone to come and manipulate it.
Correct.
So yes, of course, smart system will help us, but we need to have smart people. So irrespective of the genders or the education background, we need good educated people. Example, common sense is no more common now.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So like cybersecurity, going forward, cybersecurity has to be a
Basic training or basic learning, ne? Yeah.
whatever the job that you are applying for,
yeah.
maybe from the lower level to the higher level,
Yeah.
you need to have a basic cybersecurity hygiene. It's like personal hygiene.
Yeah.
Everyone talks about personal hygiene. Do we have a cybersecurity hygiene? Basic things need to be there.
I think that is becoming essential right now.
That's become essential. And it's not about maybe example, if someone get caught to that one, it's not something to say, okay, you got caught to these things. You don't have to name and shame it.
Yeah.
But learn from them
Yeah.
and see, okay, this particular thing can happen to anybody. It can be me next time. So how can I avoid it? How can I learn from that mistake? How can you build that to the culture? From my mindset, what I see is we need to have cultural change. We need to have cultural change from the organization, personal, maybe the households, how we handle things, digital things, then bring it to the office cultures.
Yeah.
Maybe bring it to the country. So
Yeah.
you start from an individual as a good cyber hygiene.
Yeah.
You bring that same culture to the organization as multiple organizations, and you bring it to the country. So that's where digital maturity will come. Technology will eventually mature.
Yeah.
But at the same time,
We have to
we
evolve,
have to
with
evolve
that
as
pace.
well, same time with psychological side as well.
Absolutely. I think you mentioned a very critical point: culture. Now, culture in an organization, specifically, we are discussing about organizations. HR plays a key role. How do we prepare smarter people for cyber hygiene?
So when it comes to cyber, most of the people think, oh, this is too technical. That's not my subject.
Okay.
Please leave me alive out from this thing, because I'm not part of this.
Yeah.
But cybersecurity, when it comes to cybersecurity, it's about cultural issue. So we need HR getting involved. Especially we need senior management involved. They need
From the top, yeah.
From the top, we have to have the management understand, okay, what can go wrong if something small mistake by individual, can a company collapse? Yes, of course can. In that case, how we are going to embed this kind of training programs into the HR? Maybe the HR has to play a very leading role in the organization.
Even at the induction of getting
Even from the induction. At the same time, it's not to be a one-off thing.
Yeah.
Because things are changing very fast. We need to keep them updated frequently. Maybe the continuous training lessons from starting from the induction until you leave the organization. There will be a maturity.
Okay.
When you come, you will be a very novice person. You did not know anything. But when you're gradually moving across the organization, learning subject matter, your cybersecurity hygiene also need to be improved.
Improved, yeah. I think that also has to be a continuous learning, especially even at HR or whoever advise. They also need to. I mean, today what you teach might be different tomorrow, right?
Whatever the things I am teaching today,
Yeah.
completely
Be obsolete tomorrow.
obsolete tomorrow. There will be different tactics, different ways of that. But at the same time, no matter how much we teach, it's a matter of how much of things you will grasp.
Absolutely.
And how much of things you will put into
Put into
practice.
yeah.
So it's not about knowledge, again, putting into practice and see how you can evolve.
I'm particularly looking at some of the recent incidents. We don't have to name individuals or organizations, but we know a bank setup or a government setup, things have happened. Now, I put you on the spot as an expert in this area. How would you avoid something like that?
I would say, as I mentioned, verification. So in technology, we call something called zero trust. That means you don't trust anything.
Okay.
In technology wise, you don't trust, as if you can see something physically,
Yeah.
but same thing can be replicated in a digital. Example, we do this podcast in physical,
Yeah.
but someone will see this virtually.
Yeah.
But can they trust? They need to do verification. They have to see whether this been hosted in the correct channel,
Right.
whether the channel name is correct. Likewise, we need to have a verification coming in
On the source and
on the source and
Yeah.
everything. So digital trust and the zero trust. You cannot trust anything. You need to have multiple verification to see whether this is correct or wrong.
Right.
So that is very, very important going forward.
Yeah. So, I mean, essentially to say that AI permanently changed the meaning of digital trust?
Definitely. It
It
has
has.
completely changed. Other thing is most of the organizations are now digital.
Yeah.
We say the digital transformation, digital journey and all that. We move from the physical to digital.
Yeah.
So what about the trust that we have with the organization? So how we can represent the trust in digitally?
Yeah.
Example, something that you do like this. We build the trust about the brand, maybe give the awareness to the individuals. How can we build this trust in digitally? Example, someone can do a similar podcast with wrong intention
Completely.
and something replicated and published in the media. It will go to millions of millions.
Yeah.
What about the reputation damage?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
The reputation damage is very vast, not only to the limited crowd, it will go to the millions and millions.
It's a PR nightmare for a marketer.
It's a PR nightmare for the market. So how are we going to take down in case we'll say there's a wrong post published?
Yeah.
How can you take it down? How can we verify it? How can we double check? How
Yeah.
can you do the fact checking? So this is very key important role
Absolutely.
we need to have in any communication that we do in digitally.
It takes my mind into another post that I saw digitally. You said that the voice can be picked up, right? My voice is on the cyberspace. There was very popular voices of a known character encouraging on a particular investment. I mean, for the first look at it, you will not doubt it, right? But again, for a layman, Sithira, I mean, like, you and I probably have some information. Now, with some of these discussions, we can educate people. But for a normal layman, that is very authentic.
Exactly. That's why we need to educate general public as well. So government has a role.
Yeah.
Institutions have a role. Again, maybe civil societies, all the journalists, they have a role. As individuals, we have a role.
Absolutely.
So people who know, we need to educate them. So
Absolutely.
that's why we need a mass education. Maybe media, maybe journalists, all this get together.
It has to be
Continuous education and say these are the good, because we have been completely wired to trust things.
Trust it, yeah.
Not to trust.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
when it comes to digital,
Yeah.
we need some another factors in verification. So we are not tend to ask that question. Example, if it's coming from a senior person.
Yeah.
Example, my CFO will say, can you transfer this to that particular account?
Yeah.
I'm very hesitant to ask questions because he's
Authority
and all those.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to be like sending the message and I need now because I'm in a meeting. I'm in a board meeting. So can I disturb and ask this question? But we have to look at the other way around.
Yeah.
What if I make this call
Yeah.
and if it's a wrong call, what would be the repercussion?
Absolutely.
So take 1 minute, use a different channel. Example, if it came from a WhatsApp,
yeah.
you give a call.
Call.
Maybe you can't reach the same individual.
Yeah.
You reach the second person and
Yeah.
see, so and so said something like that.
Verify.
Is it actually true?
Oh.
Because generally I don't get message like this to make a transfer.
Right.
So you always make a verification. No one is going to come and punish you for that.
Yeah.
But you will get punished if you made a wrong choice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Nobody will be there to save you afterwards.
No one will be there because they will come and say, I gave you cybersecurity training, you have done the training, you have know the knowledge,
Yeah.
this is our culture, but all that, but it doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
You have made a mistake, then again, you are in a very, very bad situation.
Sithira, very interesting. I think, I have about 100 questions coming to my head, but I don't know how to put them forward. But just to summarize on some of the stuff, what is your advice? Maybe 3 or 4 points to individuals who are out there listening to our podcast, who are getting spam messages, whose accounts can get hacked on socials and, your voice can be replicated. What's your advice to them as a basic human being who's following our podcast?
Yeah, as general practice, I would say is always do the verifications.
Right.
Because don't worry, you ask the verification and see whether this is true or not. Is there a way for me to verify this one? Go the extra mile. Maybe it will take 1 minute. It will take 2 minutes. But do the verification. Maybe it can be personal message, maybe from official message, but you always do the verification. That's the most important part that we need to. And the other thing, this is technology alone cannot stop all this.
Right.
So we have something called people, technology, and process.
Right.
Technology will be evolved.
Yeah.
Process also will evolve, but we also have to be evolved.
The people factor. Yeah.
People factor is very, very important. So you always do the verification, then you can avoid most of those incidents. Example, if you're not sure,
Yeah.
don't take the same number and call the same number.
Right.
Example, if it's coming from a bank,
Yeah.
take the time. You know what's the bank number because you know which account you have the branch.
Yeah.
Take a different call from your
Separate,
mobile,
yeah.
separate call. Ask the bank. So when I got something like this,
Right.
is it true? No
Yes,
one
sir.
is going to scold you. You
Okay.
do the verification. That's the
you-
most important part.
You don't have to hesitate in double checking and verifying that.
That's the most the part that the attackers are using. So we need to avoid that as much as possible.
So I know I'm slightly digressing from our focus topic, and recently you spoke to all our staff about your digital footprint. Now, all of us have social profiles, right? You know, my voice is out there on YouTube, and yours and my pictures are also there. So there is a lot of avenues that it can be replicated, and your digital footprint will remain. I will not go into deeper, but how do you secure your presence? I know whatever you put out there on digital, it's out there, right? Basic hygiene in terms of protecting yourself.
First thing what you have to say, because we have so many free platforms and you put so much of things out there because it's free.
Yeah.
Do you really require those things to be out there? Maybe sometimes you will not show those pictures or maybe the videos things to your parents or friends.
Exactly. Yeah.
But it's public now.
Public now.
Is it really required? You have to ask a question. Because it's free,
Yeah.
do I have to use it? Whether there's a real requirement for me to use it. Yes, there's a requirement. Example, if you want to build a good profile, maybe use those tools. But make sure when you're using those tools, there's something called security and privacy.
Yeah.
All the application, all the tools, those are there.
Yeah.
But no one is talking about. Why? If you enable them,
Yeah.
they can't get your data.
Yeah. Okay.
So we have to be very careful and we have to go to all these applications and see
Yeah.
which area that I can enable this, which area that I can disable it. Take a time. You don't have to be very techie
Yeah.
person.
Yeah.
Now everything, if you can say, okay, this particular application, how I can go Google and say how to enable the privacy.
Oh, okay.
Ask from your friend, maybe ask from your
Some
sister,
expertise,
brother,
yeah.
something expertise. How can we do that? So by doing so, you can reduce your footprint drastically.
Absolutely. I had an experience. I read it somewhere and I actually did it in this particular social media app. You have to actually go really deep in terms of disabling it. You can disable that app being tracking you off the app. And moment I switch it off, they ask 100 of questions, or not 100 actually, a couple of questions why I want to disable, but I disabled it. The advertisement which comes more targeted towards me reduced drastically, so they cannot track my behavior. So I think there are a lot of tools that you can use and protect yourself. And I mean, you know, if you do decide to put it out on the digital, it's in the public. That's your own choice, and you have to be really mindful about. I think, as you rightly mentioned, the psychology factor matters finally, both for the hacker or the attacker as well as for the individual to protect yourself. So the other part is okay. We spoke about individuals, organizations. You mentioned a very critical word about cyber hygiene. Now, your advice to corporates out there, especially we are in the financial sector, very very important. We are in capital markets, MBFI, and insurance. Your advice to all who are out there, the corporate citizens who are listening to this podcast.
So individuals come from different backgrounds. When you come to organization, we have people from different backgrounds. So those are individuals. When they come to organization, we have organization culture. So maybe in the organization we say, oh, you need to have the password and all those things. We give very strict regulation and say, oh, if you are using a username password, it has to be this, password has to be there. But when they go home, they reduce their security.
Yeah.
But they have access to the same applications. So we need to get this individual when they come to the organization. Yes, this is for the organizational security. At the same time, this application will go home with you.
Yeah.
With COVID coming in, now we don't have
work from
home,
yeah.
all those features. Everyone can work from anywhere.
Correct.
So that means
your accessibility
is from everywhere. When you come to office, not only you access the application, but when you go home also you access the same application.
Yeah.
So do you have maintained the same thing at home and office? Then again, big question comes to the organization. Do we have a security technologies to protect that individual when they are at home? So we need to expand that as well.
No,
There's a
thinking.
threat now, maybe about 2 years or 3 years ago, our entire security we maybe around our office.
Yeah.
Now it's not office.
Yeah.
Now one individual in US, one individual in another country. So now it's
Your
everywhere.
remote working. Yeah.
So again, spending, how
Yeah.
much we are spending has to be expanded.
Absolutely.
And we have to see how much of risk that we are coming from these particular individuals. Then again, do the security. So culture, technology, and example when it comes to process, you can't follow the same process maybe we
That you followed 5 years ago.
ago.
Or even last year you can't,
Last
right?
year.
Yeah.
Because things have changed.
Things
The
have evolved.
processes need to be changed.
Yeah.
The way that we do things have to be changed.
Yeah.
Example, the way you did marketing 2 years ago, 3 years ago,
No way.
drastically changed.
Absolutely.
So you need to change the way that
You have to evolve.
So the same thing, companies, the processes have to be changed. At the same time, when you do that, we need to keep this individual aligned and say why you do that one. Example, we need to give the education why they have to do this. What is the repercussion of what's a good thing will come from this change? What's a bad thing will come from this change?
Yeah.
And once they identify, once they realize, okay, there's not only for the organizational benefit, but there's a personal benefit as well. So wherever that individual go, they will have a good cyber hygiene. So it's very, very important for every organization.
Absolutely. Thank you for that thought. I think we must also conclude saying that your role, being the group chief information and security officer, central bank has now regulated. It's a mandatory that you have a CISO at the financial institutions. I think that's a good bold step that we are taking. I think this has to go on as a very, very serious topic. Sithira, thank you very much for taking time and joining us. I'm really sad that the conversation has to end in a 30 minutes window because we had to keep it tight to the timeline. I'm pretty sure that I'll be inviting you for another discussion because there's a lot of areas, and especially on the digital footprint, I'm sure that your interesting thoughts will definitely trigger some mind-opening thought process out there in the market. So, Sithira, thank you very much, and I wish you all the very best with your activities in the Janashakti group and also the contribution to the larger society. You're involved in many other organizations and societies, advising them and consulting them. Thank you, and all the very best.
Thank you very much for having me.
Well, that was an episode I had a lot of interest on, gave me goosebumps, made me scared. Remembered all those movies I saw that the machines are taking over. A lot of interesting thoughts. I think some things that stuck on my head about cyber hygiene. The world of the digital era is evolving. What we speak today is irrelevant tomorrow. We have to evolve. The people have to evolve. The processes have to evolve. It's, I think, as Sithira mentioned, it's more than tech. It's the psychology of the people who uses it, people who attack. So we need to understand this entire ecosystem, and it's a key message to individuals out there, organizations. Your cyber hygiene is utmost important going forward in an era that is digitally driven. So with that thought, I'd like to wrap up today's JXG Spotlight. I'm sure that we will have Sithira in one of our future episodes as well to discuss more about AI, digital footprint, as well as cybersecurity as well. Until then, stay safe. I'm Gamika De Silva for JXG Spotlight signing off.